technology screens. Comments have been removed for now due to the fact that I just want to do what I have to do here, get it done. Usually I notice that when I do comments sometimes that people come in and ask random questions to try to sidetrack me, but we're going to be concentrating on some video demonstrations on why screen paint mixes and other great certified projection screens, also too, have a really hard time picking up in a well ambient light environment, even with a projector of 5,000 lumens. Now, some people feel that they go out and get a projector of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. This is going to fix the problem. I'm here to show you that it is not going to fix the problem. Over here, we have our Christie 505. That is a 5,000 projector for the environment. And as I said before, at the end of the day, it comes down to the screen. The screen is what makes your projector's performance. Without that high-end screen to be able to give you that ability, you won't be able to pick up anything at all. So to test that theory, this environment up here is actually brighter than any place in the entire house. Got the windows open, plenty of light coming through. Got light here, light over the ceiling. Nice and bright, isn't it? This is the way it should be. When you do test demonstrations, when you test your products out, this is how your screens are supposed to be tested under this kind of stress. If you notice, we only have one area blocked. That's the window right there for the big screen we're going to put in. But the rest of this area, nice and bright. Plenty of window light. I think I'm going to start using that for my line. Nice and bright, plenty of window light. Now let's see what happens if we take a gray screen paint mix, and we're going to be doing some certifieds too, and see how they react. Now they're not used to being in this kind of environment. We're at 7, almost getting close to 8. It's almost near 8. There's my meter reading right there, showing you how much light we have in the environment. Slowly building up to around 7 or 8. I'm going to come over here and see exactly how the screen paints are going to perform. Now keep in mind, like I said, if anybody comes in and says, hey Ken, I saw a demonstration, and in the demonstration, somebody said that your product came out too dark and you can't see it, I'm going to come on YouTube and I'm going to show you that that's a lie, and show you that how my product does produce an image in a fully lit environment, and a nice bright one at that, which we're doing right now. But I would feel if someone else did that to me, I would come to back it up. But as I can see that the individual who we talked about before, as he's the only one on YouTube, makes these claims that his product has this capability to be able to pull up these really amazing images next to darker technology. All right, so we're going to put these against the screen right now. We got a pretty good sized screen here. There's plenty of light making contact with it. Now, the one thing that lighter screen paints or mixes can do is they can pull up a higher white level. That's what they're supposed to do, but that's easy. I mean, we have a gray screen paint called My Mix that we made, and that screen can easily pull up the same thing. It can pull up the same high-end white levels also too. Let's check the meter again. I said before, light fluctuates back and forth. All right, let's come over here. I think I'm gonna move my chair out of the way. I'm gonna do this demonstration standing up. There we go. Make sure I'm not tapping or hitting anything with my mouse or anything. I'll move my chair a little bit. I have a little more playroom in here. All right, now I've got more playroom. So we're going to start this demonstration off. This is actually running off my computer. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pull up a few demonstrations here and there. All right. Oh, we had sound a few minutes ago. See if my, where's my remote controls at? Oh, Chrissy's over there. Let's see if my sound bar is on. Nope, sound bar is running. Volume's up. All right, that's an interesting one for right now. Hold on, I think we got it paused. There we go. I know what sound bars are on. Now, like I said, if I'm completely wrong in these demonstrations, feel free to duplicate them. Feel free to do the exact same demonstration I'm doing here right now. Because anytime that someone's going to say, whether it be him or anybody else, say, hey Ken, your white levels come up too low. I'm right on YouTube showing you that, nope, my white levels are perfectly fine. I'm coming to back it up. Now in this demonstration, the background must always remain black, no matter what. You have to pick up color, and the background must remain black at all times. Now soon we're going to have the Cinemax here, and it's going to be in the same exact environment we're using the screen at right now. And we're going to see if we can pull a Starfield demonstration in a fully lit environment. And we'll do one with the lights out. This room actually is the darkest out of all the ones in the house. Now this screen right here is around 151 inches, 16:9, quite a large screen. I wonder what would happen if I did paint the screen with a gray. Now we're down that road. Want me to pick anything up? Let's go over to this demonstrations right here. And let's pull up a contrast demonstration.
Your budget. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
And here we are doing contrast demonstration in a fully lit environment. My projector, like I said, is 5,000 lumens. It's a Christie, it's a 1920 by 1200, a WXGA projector. So keep in mind, some people feel that, they go up an extra couple of lumens. They figure it's going to change contrast, it's going to change color. It's not. You're still going to have a screen that cannot produce color or contrast correctly. And this is where they tell you that you have to use it in an ambient light controlled environment, which we're not in, or you're going to have to calibrate your projector, which we don't do. Now, if I haven't said it already, the technology we're using here is one of the darkest gray screens we ever developed, actually darker than gunmetal. This right here is our advanced ambient light projection, Dark Slate. This is a Phoenix 19. No matter where I move at in the environment, the gray screen paint mixes cannot pull an image properly. And this is what I'm talking about when I tell somebody to do a demonstration in a fully lit environment. We've got window light everywhere. We have it here. I have veneer blinds, which you can see objects on the other end crystal clear, which light is pushing through. We have our windows open, plenty of light pushing through. Overhead, light pushing through. Nice and bright, as it should be. Now, when I see these demonstrations being done or trying to be displayed, usually they'll do it with a lot of color on the screen because color is going to fade less. And that's easy. Any gray screen can pick up a color level. Any gray screen. One thing a gray screen has to be able to pick up is a contrast level. That's more important. Contrast levels are very, very important. Again, we're going to do all contrast with lights on. The majority of all contrast with lights on. These are demonstrations I've seen done cheated. Yeah, they cheat in demonstrations. They do them in poorly lit environments. Because they know if they do it in a poorly lit environment, the screen has a better chance of pulling a better black image. And you get it home and put it in this environment, and this is how it turns out. And you go and complain about it, and the first thing they say is, well, you got to calibrate your projector. Calibrate is not going to change your contrast. Either it works or it doesn't. It may improve. No, it's not even going to improve it. To tell you the truth, by a little bit probably, but no, not like this. You're still going to have a washed out image. You're probably going to have to sit in the dark. That's what's going to happen. Because that's the only way you're going to pull a proper image. You're going to have to turn your environment, your home, into a cave. Because your screen can't see it, even at 5,000 lumens. That's why we chose the big boy projector. Think about that, 5,000 lumen projector at 13 feet, and the screen can't pick it up. And ask yourself at the end of the day, what did you just purchase? And like I said, if I'm wrong in this demonstration, feel free to mimic the exact same demonstration I'm doing now. Contrast only, fully lit environment.
Or a lawn that looks like this, but if your lawn looks a little bit more like this, then you should click right here to check out True Green.
We're going to keep going back and checking that meter. See where that meter's at. And here's the thing. With that meter in the room, all the meter does, it doesn't control the screen, doesn't control the contrast level. It just keeps a record on exactly how much ambient light's in the environment. Also, too, for those who think the meter is not correct, that meter has a built-in database attached to it, which allows you to give an accurate reading and keep a record of all your meter readings. Every time you hit that button, it keeps a track of where and how much light you have in the environment. So it keeps track of the data that I'm actually doing right now. But you don't need a meter to be able to show off your screen having the ability to take in ambient light. You need the environment to do that. And as you can see, the gray screen paint is not picking up at all. Now the product we're using here is a screen paint mix made by a fellow who goes by the name of Crow 1176, who has made multiple accusations that his product could produce contrast levels equal to darker screens. He also made accusations that darker screens do not have the capability to pull up a bright enough image for you to even see. And we're sitting in almost around 875 of lux light in this environment, and this screen is pulling up on a 5,000 projector where, well, his product is just not bringing up an image. Well, the image is coming up, but it's washed out and faded. Now soon we'll have the Cinemax here, and there's been claims on the Cinemax is far different from the other products we have here, and it has the ability to pull a contrast level equal to a darker screen. We will have all three screens in this environment with a star field demonstration to see if the Cinemax brings up a darker, much darker version, darker image than the other two screens we have before us. And if that's the case, like I said, if anyone has that kind of technology to be able to produce a light screen and produce that heavy contrast at the same time equal to a black screen, do you have any idea how much your product would be worth? I don't know why he doesn't display it more if he has that capability. Heck, if I had that capability, I would be displaying it every day. But yet, we can never seem to get a certain star field demonstration or any form of contrast demonstration displayed off the screen. Therefore, I don't think it has that capability. Here we are showing off the red levels coming up. Red levels are not even pushing. And that tannish look to the screen, that is an indication that the screen cannot pick up contrast or color. It is washing out. Now for me, if claims were made on the product that it produces a fair contrast level and an ambient light controlled environment, if the specifications were true on it, that I can believe. But to say that it pulls an equal contrast level to a dark screen, no, not going to happen. Let's go check our meter so we can get a record of how much light we have in the environment. We are now coming at 900. Way over the 220 mark that was represented in a video demonstration by this individual, saying that his screen could produce such an amazing, beautiful image in an environment of just only 220, which is actually very below average. You have to be in the 300 to 400 mark. Like I see, product has continued to wash out. Now the two screen paint products we have up here is the Cinemax. No, I'm sorry. We had the Metallica Mix 2.0 and the Personal Mix. And as you can see, our white level is actually quite good too. Very, very good.
Redos is a company that rebuilds.
You can see the gray screen paint mix is struggling to pull its contrast levels again. Contrast levels are completely washed out. We don't have to do a star fill demonstration on this one. Not necessary. Anything we pull, you know how much light is in this environment? It's a lot of light in this environment. Anything we pull on this screen right now, that screen paint's not going to be to do it. It's struggling with the light in the environment. There's too much light in here for it. And for anyone who sits there and says that, oh, well, my product doesn't have to be ambient light rejection. Oh, yes, it does. And if it was ambient light rejection, you still can't pull it. The screen produces too much white light. Now we're going to put up a white wall screen pretty soon for the darker mixes to see how the white levels pull up. Because then you have a problem if you try to develop a darker mix, then we've seen that problem with that with the UV mix. The UV mix does not pull up proper white levels. White levels are very, very low on the screen. It's too dark. Okay, most of the time when I deal with businesses, the first thing, most of them use 5,000 lumen projectors. Most of them are using 5,000 lumens, especially when they're using for venue events or for display or something like that. They're using 5,000 lumens. And you can see right here, 5,000 lumens. It's just not going to pull up on this product. The white levels will pick up, but contrast, it's not going to pick up. And as I always said, if I'm wrong in these demonstrations, feel free to do the exact same demonstration I'm doing now, same amount of lighting, same contrast demonstrations, and just prove me wrong. Anytime, like I said, when someone tries to claim that our black screens can't pull a proper white level, I'm right in there doing a demonstration with several sheets of white paper, several certified white screens, showing the difference between our technology and theirs, that our technology can pull those white levels. Now they might not pull them as high as a white screen or high as a gray screen, but the screen's not going to come out so dark as some portray that you can't see it. But in my demonstrations, I can easily show you where there's no way in the world possible this product could ever pull a contrast level equal to a black screen or even a dark gray screen. When it comes to colors, looking for proper browns. Brown's supposed to have a kind of a shine. It's supposed to be realistic. It's completely washed out on the gray screen. That's the reason why you will never see a demonstration in this kind of light environment. I told you, there's no point in the whole meter thing because we do demonstrations in well-lit environments anyway. No doubt about it. I said before, my environments are very, very, very well lit.
And as a child, discovered he had.
Here we go. Again, showing contrast levels and color. And you see the colors are fading on the screen. Put up some more darker demonstrations. Now, some people may say, Ken, that's not fair because you're doing all contrast. Well, again, we said the screen was equal to our darker technology and screens, and that includes contrast. Well, you're not putting enough bright levels. If the levels weren't bright enough, you wouldn't be able to see the objects in front of you right now that are moving across the screen. That's fading his screen. So if anyone feels it's an unfair demonstration because I'm doing contrast, he did say a screen was equal to a black screen or a gray screen, a dark gray, or technology. And with that being said, we're just testing it, seeing if it is. And it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Let's go do an angle game real quick. Into an angle. Now, if I came on here saying that, hey, my black or dark technology screens can pull up a white level equal to a white screen, someone would have to test that theory, because that would be lying. There's nowhere in the world this technology equal a white screen. Virtually impossible. As I said before, if you can't pull a contrast level, you can't pull color. Add off my. There you go. So this is how they really perform. This is how gray screen paint products really perform, especially when they're untested. When there's not enough testing in any of them, this is how they perform. What you're used to seeing is a really dark environment. All the windows blocked out. There's no light here and here. Screen sits tucked away in a corner. Projector sits right up on top of the screen. That's what you're used to seeing, a dark environment. Turn around, look at my windows behind me. As you can see, we've got plenty of light pushing through. In the demonstrations I've seen, blinds were pulled all the way down to make sure no light was transferring through. Like I said, side of the screen, there's no windows on the side of the screen, nothing. Screen tucked away in a dark environment. So if I did this, I'm gonna put this in the same setting somewhat. I'm gonna try to simulate the same setting as they would have these screens in, because the less light that makes contact with the screen, and you see this light hitting my screen, the better their image is going to pull off. And they bring in a nice high power projector, which we have right now. We have a high power projector in here. But if this was in a darker environment, that screen paint would look much better. And that's why every demonstration you see in that person's video is in the dark. That's why when he does demonstrations in fully lit environments, he'll stick to bright colors. You can't go near a contrast demonstration. What do you think? Oh, it's going to wash out, just like it's doing right now. Now, I've taken my curtains back up here for a minute because I don't want my neighbors thinking that I'm watching them with a camera. And I'm going to show you now how much light we have making contact with the screen. I'm going to leave it that way. And since I've opened up the windows, look at my meter now. The meter's starting to jump. Now look at my windows now. I know already from the door that there's virtually no way your product could ever pull contrast level or proper color in your environment. I know that for a fact. In the Cinemax, when we get it over here, it's going to do the exact same thing. This is where we're going to have it at, in this environment. This is the brightest area of the house. It's not going to pick up in here. That's why I said there's no point in you. He wants to go on and on about these meters. Man, there's no point in going on about meters. Like again, my environments are far more brighter than yours. My screens are used to going through so much stress. That's why our technology works, because we put it through vigorous testing. And one of the testings these screens have to go through in order to be able to get that label, they got to be outside. This is inside right now. They're outside. We're 13 feet away right now on 5,000 lumens. They're outside at 13 feet away on 1,000. And they have to pull an image. That's some testing our technology has to go through, including the long distance test and low lumen test and projector swap outs and multiple certified projection screen tests. Because if we can show that we can beat 11 certified screens anywhere from $800 to $6,000, that's a huge achievement right there. And then turn around and do it again on ultra short throw. And then swap out the ultra short throw. Then hit 1,000 lumens and throw it back another 22 feet and do it again. Bring it back 13 feet, do it again. Take it outside, do it again. That's why my screen can sit here and smile under 5,000 lumens easily. And your screen will wash out because you don't test it. Same thing about the UV mix. The UV mix contrast levels are too high. We have not done a demonstration displaying the white levels. Now, I told people, anytime you develop a black screen or a dark gray screen or any kind of dark gunmetal screen, you have to display white levels and contrast, mostly white levels. That's why I gave you that challenge today. We displayed a snowstorm and we displayed a star field at the same time. There's rules that nobody wants to follow. Even the big industries just want to follow those rules. Let me know when you've ever seen Screen Innovation come up with a projector and say, hey, look, we're going to swap it out for a 720p. We're going to swap it out for a 2012, a 2016, a 2015, a 1999 projector. They don't do that. They'll buy the most expensive projector they can get. They'll stick it up there. They'll calibrate the daylights out of it. They'll put it in an ambient light controlled environment, making sure there's no light hitting the screen. Oh, they got meter tests in there. They have lots of tests in there. Testing exactly how much light they have in the environment. That room is adjusted and catered to make that screen look good. All rehearsed on a big play. But on the other hand, we do it raw. We swap projectors out in the middle. We have ambient light all over the place. Nothing's calibrated. Complete chaos. And our screens thrive in it like it's nothing. So what do you think has happened if we go against one of these big companies? We'd crush their product with no problem. We test against their best screens. And yet we can make technology within hours. Within hours, this technology can be designed, which takes some years to manufacture. We're way beyond what we're supposed to be at. Like I said, our technology is unstoppable. And those people who try to mimic and make our products have never passed any one of the tests on the products. Anyone can mix black paint together, but can you match every one of our demonstrations along with them live? Nope. They'll mix a little product together, put it up on a screen and go, voila, I made it. That's not enough. Show me test results. No test results? Then you don't have our product. That's what separates from everybody else. But as for this is what light screen paints look like. Without the smoke and mirrors. I'll go back and show you my environment again. And here we are. Look at this. I don't need a meter to show how much light my room's pulling in. I can just open up my windows and show you. And unlike you got your screen tucked away in the dark, got your door here to the side. The door light doesn't even make it to your screen. I can see that from the wall. If it made it to your screen, the whole side of your wall right here would be illuminated. Just like you see the light here coming here, that's the window light making contact with the screen. See how it's illuminated right there? See how short the distance is from the window? 13 feet from here to here. So as I said before, if you feel that I have done you wrong in this video, then all you have to do is just come in, light your environment up, put on a few contrast demonstrations, including the star field, and do the exact same demonstration. And prove that your screen paint can pull up an image dark enough to blend into one of these, into a black screen. As a matter of fact, take that fake product that you made that's supposed to be our product, and put it against that and do that demonstration and show a contrast level off of it and match that fake product. Until then, you still have another challenge from us we gave you this morning, which you're going to have to produce on your screen a contrast and white level as we did. We pulled the contrast easily, white level easily. You're going to have to pull the same thing. So the fellow we're talking about is a fellow by the name of Jamie. He goes by, has a channel called Crow 1176. He makes a screen paint product. And like I said, the one thing I don't like about his products is the fact that he makes claims about his products that are not true. He states that his Cinemax Mix and all his other products can produce a same contrast level as darker screens. So the difference in here, in this environment, we don't basically baby the screen. Either you can take the light or you can't. Colors washed out. The colors are going to fade like crazy. There's too much light in here. Oh, we're way up on the meter now. We're way up on the meter. We're at 12? 12? Yeah. Now, this is not even a black screen. This is a dark gray screen. I said before, the Dark Slate Phoenix is one of the darkest gunmetals we ever made. It's dark. And yet it pulls up amazing high white levels and can maintain its contrast. Is unbelievable. Let's go to something else. Oh, yes, it's hooked up to my computer. So keep in mind, if the screen was so dark, I wouldn't be able to see the writing on the computer. A lot of people don't think about that. If I'm showing you a display, one guy came and said, oh, your screen paint's too dark. Did you think before you said that? Do you know I'm on a computer? So in order for me to see the text on the computer, the background would have to be bright white in order for me to pick that up. If it was too dark, I wouldn't be able to see it, right? Yeah, there you go. You got to think before you come in here and you utter insults. Because at the end of the day, it makes you look not too intelligent. See? If the screen came up as dark as it did, you wouldn't be able to see the text. Now, two things in this demonstration. Either I have the power to manipulate your mind, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing, or at the end of the day, you guys should be calling me Thanos. You gotta be something, because this is real time. All right, let's switch over to, oh, I like this one, fat doggy face. Let me show the fluffy doggy. So let's change over to something else besides the dark contrast. Let's bring up some everydays on here, all right? Bring up some everydays. Now let's see in this demonstration if the light screen paint products can make my screen as dark as displayed in the video demonstrations. I'm seeing a lot of faded color. Quite impressive for a screen that dark to bring up a white level that high. something even more brighter. That contrast level is not going to pull. That background is jet black. That dog is not even going to pull correctly. That's not going to happen.
Hey everyone, my name's Sashi. I'm founder and CEO at T-Drop, and we make an assortment of bagless holy.
We do this one already? I want to make sure I'm not repeating the same thing over again. We just went through some heavy contrasts, so we're going to go with some light colors now. That's brighter right there. We can use this one. This is perfect. There we go. There you go. Washing out again. It's going to pick up a little bit, but not where it should be at. And this is why you're told over and over again that you have to calibrate your projector. That's kind of a shame. You know, when big companies do that, you spend $5,000 for a projection screen. Spend $3,000, maybe $4,000 for a projector. And you're being told that you got to go and calibrate your projector because your colors are not coming up correctly on a $4,000 piece of equipment or $3,000 piece of equipment or a $5,000 projection screen. And the same protocol nonsense that they use because your screens have shortcomings is the same nonsense that hobbyists who have this kind of product, except for their product is tested, they'll feed you the same dumb nonsense. Well, a real movie theater setup, a real setup, blah, 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 has to be in an ambient light controlled environment. If you're doing dedicated theaters, a dedicated theater room is going to be dark regardless, so that doesn't make a difference. But if you're setting this up as a set-top box on an ultra short throw projector in your environment, no. You're supposed to be in a fully lit environment. That's the whole purpose of having an ultra short throw like that, is so you can have it in a living room setting or a family setting or a gathering. You have all your lights on, people can talk and read and whatever, not sitting in the dark. So you can see our technology is not turning dark. You can see the screen crystal clear with no problem. I'm gonna have for breakfast today. So that's not a problem right there. You're picking up nice bright colors, but no problem. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice bright colors, but no problem. So we know that's not the issue right there. Just at the end of the day, the screen just can't pull what it's supposed to do. Now, I like these particular demonstrations because they show a high bright color and then it goes back into contrast. The background always remains black, no matter what. All right, so when we get the Cinemax down here, we'll see if it does back up its claim of being able to produce a contrast level equal to a black screen. But this is going to be, we'll put it against the gunmetal. This technology here is Dark Slate. We'll put it against this and see if it can do it. And then we'll put it next to these products and see how if it pulls a better contrast level than the screens we have here. And then, even more interesting, I want to put it against the UV mix, put it on a Starfield demonstration, and see if the UV mix or the Cinemax, which one pulls the heavier contrast level. I already know what's going to happen, but I'm just saying. Oh well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I think we're gonna do more tests in this room. I like this room. It's a lot of light in here. A lot of light. We're gonna be doing some more demonstrations in here shortly. I'm gonna bring my curtains down so my neighbors, well, I have my neighbors know what I do for anyway, for a living anyway. When I was doing the lights on and off, and my lights outside were going on and off and on and off and on and off. And then here I was doing lights on and off. And the next day, a neighbor was like, "Is your electricity okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's perfectly fine." So your lights were just flickering on and off. It's oh, we do that for lights on, lights off demonstrations for projection screen setups. That's what I do. I design screens and movie theaters and all that stuff. They're like, "Oh, cool." So explain to them so they don't think I'm local. Like I said, if he feels I'm wrong in a demonstration, you can feel free to go back and just repeat the demonstration. That's all. And that's all. Just make sure you start with those contrast levels first. Starfield would be nice to start with. That would be nice to see. A Starfield demonstration. I have no idea how many times I have requested that over and over again for that Starfield demonstration to be displayed on your screen, but you just keep avoiding it at all costs whatsoever.
If you only list your vacation home on Airbnb, you might attract someone looking for a quaint little.
That's what we requested. This is going to haunt you to the day you die. And if you can't develop a black screen, that makes you a hypocrite. You spend too much time criticizing black technology. You can't go near it. How would your customers feel that all this time you would tell them that black screens were not the way to go, and you turn around and develop a black screen? And developing a black screen is not as easy as you think. They're much harder to do than a light gray screen. So it's a lot of testing that goes into those screens. I've been doing black screens for over 10 years. Because if your white levels don't come up correctly and you make a black product, I'll find out. I'll bring it over here and I'll put it under our testings that we have to put white black screens underneath of. And I guarantee it won't pass. If that UV mix came up the way it did, anything you make dark is not going to come up that well. So we know that from the door. It's not going to do well. But still, that would make you a hypocrite. So that's not going to work. I'm surprised that you made the UV mix. The UV mix is a very dark screen. Horrible white levels, but very dark screen. So, you know, he watches our demonstrations. He comes into our channels or he brings somebody in to watch our demonstrations. We know that from the door. We don't watch his. There's no point. There's nothing over there to watch. Right, like I said, his accusations about his products, no, they're fake. Saying that his product pulls up an image equal to white screens, that's a lie. You're not trying to pull a white screen with a white screen. That's it. Even our technology couldn't even do it. So that's a complete lie right there. Let's see what else we got here real quick. Sorry, I'm getting out of here real quick. I got things to do today. Let's see if your screen can turn our screen dark here. Now, the reason why we find that theory impossible, that his screen paint products can turn our screen dark, if we test our screens against white sheets of paper, white certified screens, and they can't turn the screen dark, what makes you think this product can do it? Again, fake demonstrations. And we test against certified screens all the time, and some of those certified sample sheets we have are really like silvers, or they're near white. And we have one that actually is white with a 0.9 gain. Can't turn our screen dark like in its demonstrations. All right, let this play off. I'm gonna make some spaghetti today too. I'll make some spaghetti in a while. So, summary, our product produces amazing white levels, amazing color, excellent contrast, where the light gray screen paint mixes that are untested cannot pull color or contrast. They can pull white level, but their color and contrast is way off. Can they be used in fully lit environments? No. Are they good with 5,000 lumen projectors? No. If it's not going to work on 5,000, it's not going to work on anything over or under that. Are you going to have to calibrate? Yes, you will be calibrating your projector, and you will be sitting in a dark environment. That's where you will be at. So it doesn't make a difference. You go out and spend money for a P2, P1, P3, P6, whatever, 4K, whatever you get, it's not going to pull it at all. Doesn't make a difference what you buy. Just contrast again one more time. It make a difference if your projector has a 22,000 to 1, a 5,000 to 1, a 50,000 to 1, a 1 million to 1, 2 million to 1 contrast. You're not picking it up. And the first thing someone's going to say is, well, with this much light in the environment, of course they're going to go with a high projector with a lot of lumens. We got 5,000. We're not pulling up in here at all, period. The screen's not showing. If anything, the 5,000 lumens is helping to wash the screen out even faster. Look at that. You know, I always tell people when you paint a motorized projection screen, it's always best to put that one coat on it. 2, you're kind of pushing it. 3, you're really asking for it. But if you want the motor to continue to roll up nice in that machine every single time, because it's going to be going up and down a lot, it's going to have it stationary, one application is what you want to go with. Now, mind you, you paint this up on your motorized projection screen, you have already shortened the lifespan of your motor already. Because that motor is only designed to actually pick a certain weight up and down. You lift your bar up, that bar has a certain weight to it. So you get it the second time, you pretty much are shortening the span of what that motor is going to be to do. You put a little wear and tear on it. And nothing's worse than having a motorized projection screen and it doesn't work because it won't come down or won't go back up. So choose wisely when you put screen paint on your screens and your investments, your home theater setup, because at the end of the day, you could end up with something that looks absolutely horrible. Well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration, and thank you all for your time, just showing you the realities of what gray screen paint does. And how do I know so much about gray screen paints? Well, like I said, I used to have a company back then, way back. Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. We used to make this stuff 8 years ago. So that's how I know everything there is about it, all its flaws, all its mistakes, everything. It's an 8-year-old product. Like I said, at that particular era, the darkest screen you had out there was the Gray Wolf. Anybody know what Gray Wolf is? I'm pretty sure you don't. That's a screen that had the capabilities of a black diamond, but it wasn't as dark as a black diamond. But they were darker gray screens, but they were $3,000 screens. So right around that time, you didn't have any gunmetals, didn't exist. Black diamond didn't come around until like something like 11 years ago. So yeah, you didn't have any black diamond, you didn't have any dark gray screens. It was all either light gray screens, daylight was either the champion, or it was goose screen was the top when it came to spray-on projection screen applications. That's where that fell in at. And then later on, and gradually, after black diamond came on the scene with those darker screens, then you start seeing companies switch over from those mid-gray color screens that were out 8 years ago to more darker contrast screens, as in you see in the Cinema Grade 5D and 3D. You see with Seymour AV, their Matinee Black 0.9, and then they have their flagships, which the flagship over Elite is a Dark Star 9. Daylight screen, quite shocking, because daylight screen for the longest time had white screens, mid-grade screens, and a little darker, but not near as dark as they would have on a screen. They would have like a mid-gray or medium mid-gray or something like that. And now they come out with this screen that's dark gunmetal. Optima has a projection screen right from the door, gunmetal. XY screens, gunmetal. Black Diamond, gunmetal. See what I'm getting at here? You don't see a company come out and say, hey, we're going to design a light gray screen. No, they're darker screens. DMP Supernova has two screens. They have one called Blade and Infinity. One is actually darker than the other one. I think it's the Blade that's the lighter one, and the Infinity is one darker one. The dark screen costs more money. So he's telling you an idea of an old technology that is considered to be the mid-level screen before it's actually the screen, you know, white screen, and this is the screen that comes next after the white screen. And he's trying to convince you that this is the newest technology and blah blah this and blah blah that. No, it isn't. Go to any forum site, ABS forums, which I'm not a big fan of them, but ABS forums, Projector Central. Go pop into one of them and say, hey, let me ask you a question. I'm about to buy me a projection screen, and I was wondering, to get the best performance screen, should I go with a gray screen or should I go with one of those gunmetal screens? Darker screens. And everyone's saying go with a darker screen, because those screens were designed for 4K projectors. Do you know that? That's what they're designed for. The screen he has right now is not designed for a 4K projector. Do your research, people. Do your research. Go to any Projector Central, any one of those big top dog sites, and ask them. They're like, no. That's why the screens cost $5,000 and $6,000. There's a reason why the screens cost that kind of money, because of the color. The darker the shade on the screen, the more expensive it becomes. So white screens are cheap. You know, white screen anyway are cheap. Mid grays are cheap. I think the Elite screen Cinema Gray is $800 to $900. That's a cheap screen for 100-inch. You bounce over to the Cinema Gray 5D, which is a little darker than that. That's like $1,500. It's about $1,500 to $1,600 jump from $800. Jump to the Dark Star 9, which is one of the darkest screens, $3,000. There you go. So you're buying a you're buying a mid-level, bottom-level screen for your projection setup. Meanwhile, you can have your 4K projector. I guarantee you, my 5,000 lumen projector discontinued in 2012, and you put that on his product or any other gray screen, and I put that on my product, I would blow your projector clean out of the water. I don't care what you got over there. I'll blow it clean out of the water. The P2 has never ever been able to perform on a level that my screen can perform in. Right now, he can have that projector on right now. He can't even pull his contrast levels or colors, and he's got a $4,000 projector. Well, I got a $500 projector that's discontinued in 2012, and I can pull the image out perfectly with no problem, without even calibrating, without even shutting one window, with no problem. There you go. There's your wake-up call. All right, gotta go. Thank you all for your time, and God bless.